Hey, Jordan Sheridan, not live on Monday, May 20th, 2019. Boy, what a show. What a show. Got my Status Coup hat, and hopefully the rest of you will be purchasing some Status Coup gear in your near future, because we now have a merchandise store, which I'm going to show you some more of that a little bit later. I hope everyone had a nice weekend. Remember your checklist, folks. I want you all, every one of you, to smash the like button. Smash that like button like your life depends on it. Smash that like button like it's a Joe Biden campaign official attacking Status Coup. Smash that like button like it's John Bolton coming to Thanksgiving dinner and trying to get you to turn and go to war with your own grandmother. Smash that like button. Become a Status Coup member. That's statuscoup.com/join. I'll be showing you some of a video today that Ty did just for members, taking you behind the scenes of his process as he revises our documentary, Flushing Flint. He's shortening it a bit so we could submit it to a few film festivals ASAP. We might have some news on that documentary and possible distribution in the near future. Follow us at Status Coup. I'm at Jordan Sheridan. Subscribe to the podcast. That's bit.ly/Status Coup podcast. Once you go there, definitely rate us 5 stars, as well as leave a positive review. The podcast is our live streams made into a podcast, as well as interviews made into podcasts. We will have some news on our live stream, or lack of live stream ability, a little bit later. We're getting out of live stream jail, so that's exciting. Now, and join the email list. That's statuscoup.com, and you'll see a little box to enter your email. If you noticed, I did a video earlier this morning to give you a little play-by-play of the not-so-subtle threat Joe Biden's campaign made against little old me. So that video's up. It's doing well. You call out one of Biden's top campaign officials, Simone Sanders, for going on TV and twisting herself into a pretzel, kind of like Sarah Huckabee Sanders, to deny reality. She went on TV and was like, no, Joe Biden, he didn't do anything wrong drafting the crime bill, which put an unprecedented amount of black men in jail, many of them for the rest of their life. 3 strikes, you're out, for nonviolent crimes, disproportionate sentencing for, discrepancies between powdered cocaine versus crack cocaine. Joe Biden doesn't even have anything doesn't have to defend himself. He did nothing wrong, Simone Sanders said. And her response to a CNN anchor who actually did a good job, a rare sight on CNN. He challenged her pretty well. Her comment is a lot of times what you hear from Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Vice President Biden's words, they speak for themselves. So definitely check out that video. I did it this morning rather than wait for the live stream. But we have a lot of news to get to. The saber rattling and the deja vu in the build-up to the Iraq War is upon us, folks. The neocons and now Trump is starting to pound his chest towards Iran and war with Iran, and the media, the corporate media, is breathlessly, without any verification, just regurgitating what the CIA tells them, and that's happening now with Iran. So I'm going to get to that, but I'm going to get to something, I wouldn't say just as dangerous, because war with Iran would be worse than this, but I think the DNC's up to its old tricks, folks. And I think when you look at who they just hired as their finance chair, I do not feel comfortable that the Democratic National Committee is going to be neutral in this 2020 primary. So remember, if you have not liked this not live stream, we're out of live stream jail this weekend, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. Press the like button and press the share button. This is a super chat also. So if you're feeling super on this Monday, if you want to help Status Coup grow, leave us a super chat. We'll get back to you when this broadcast airs, right there in the live chat. Super chat, any amount is great with us. So the Democratic National Committee has hired a guy by the name of Chris Corgi, as its finance chair. This is from the Huffington Post. And let me just skip around for a little bit here so you just get a little drift here. So if you can't see that, this is a tweet from when was this? This is from 2018. Somebody tweeted out, "No more Bernie Sanders. This man is dangerous to the future of the Democratic Party. I don't want to hear that he's running in 2020. I don't want to hear about him anymore. No more Bernie." And who is that there? That retweet? Chris Corgi. I think I'm pronouncing his last name right. Let me give you a little bit more about Mr. Corgi. Corgi is a South Florida attorney, former Miami-Dade County lobbyist, and former and longtime Democratic donor. To serve the top fundraising post for Henry Munoz, who stepped down earlier this month. The DNC's voting membership will have the chance to vote on confirming Corgi at the party's August meeting in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Key phrasing here. Former Miami-Dade County lobbyist and longtime Democratic donor. Well, you know who is a big political figure in the Miami-Dade area? Can you take a guess? Who's a big political figure in the Miami-Dade area? Do 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 do. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So, full disclosure, haven't dug around yet. Didn't have time. Had a few calls before this not live stream. This guy's a lobbyist from South Florida. I think he knows who Debbie Wasserman Schultz is, and reason would stand, they know each other. Probably have, maybe not direct links, but some association. And I'll have more on that when I've had time to research. So this guy, in December, so just 6 months ago, was retweeting tweets. No more Bernie Sanders. This man is dangerous to the future of the Democratic Party. I don't want to hear that he's running in 2020. I don't want to hear about him anymore. No more Bernie. He himself has tweeted. Here is this tweet. And all of these tweets were deleted, of course. So this is a tweet from Chris Corgi. Huffington Post just has the screenshots. This is from March 2016. There is no choice. The only burn the middle class will feel from Bernie is the pain from all those tax increases. This is from March 2016. This is the new DNC finance chair. Chris Corgi, January 2016. Guns, guns, guns. Come on, Bernie. Just admit you have been weak on guns for political purpose. It's unbelievable. Tom Perez, who has been pretending, oh, no, we're neutral now. You know, superdelegates are now in the second ballot. So superdelegates can't decide the first ballot. It's a step in the right direction. I still think superdelegates do have the potential to decide. Because with all of these candidates, all 75,000 of the candidates running, it's very possible nobody gets enough pledged delegates to become the clear nominee at the convention, which it would then go to a second round where superdelegates get to vote. But you have the Democratic Party under Tom Perez claiming on one breath to be neutral, right? They're neutral. Yet you're hiring you're not hiring like a secretary or an administrative assistant. You're hiring the director of your finance. The DNC is largely a finance machine. They are there to raise money for corporate establishment candidates. Basically said 6 months ago, or endorsed somebody saying it, Bernie Sanders is a danger to the Democratic Party. I don't want to hear Bernie is running. Who said the only pain or burn the middle class will feel is the tax increases from Bernie Sanders. I mean, this could be any Republican would talk that way. But this is Chris Corgi, who is now the finance director of the Democratic National Committee. You couldn't have found anyone else that at least says this in private, doesn't tweet it openly 6 months ago? Let's see what know your value, lead with your values, Tom Perez has to say about that. Hold on. Oh, not him. Let's see what Chris Corgi has to say. I have worked tirelessly to help the Democratic Party and have been proud to support a wide array of Democratic candidates, Corgi said in a statement. I'm fully committed to the DNC's neutrality policy, and I look forward to raising the funds necessary to help whoever our Democratic nominee is. Yes, you have supported a wide array of candidates like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Yes, a wide array of corporate, Wall Street, rubber-stamped warmongers like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. You definitely have supported them. DNC Chairman Tom Perez kept Corgi. Oh, I read you that already. In interviews with Huffington Post this week, Jeff Weaver, a senior advisor to Sanders' 2020 presidential bid, Nebraska Democratic Party Chairman Jane Kleb, DNC member James Zogby, and DNC member Larry Cohn all called on Corgi to clarify that he would leave past antipathy to Sanders behind in his new role. Kleb, Zogby, and Cohen all endorsed Sanders in 2016 and serve on the board of Our Revolution, the nonprofit that came out of his 2016 bid. As a state party chair, Kleb will remain neutral during the 2020 primary. The DNC, in my conversations with Chairman Perez, has committed to neutrality, Weaver said hours before Corgi released his statement. Any statement that would commit to it on his part would be an appropriate gesture. Quote, I hope that when he gets to the DNC, he has some of those young people help him find the delete button on his Twitter account. During the 2016 primary, Corgi was a major donor and bundler for Hillary Clinton, and he repeatedly blasted Sanders on social media. And by the way, guess what? Chris Corgi, you know who he donated to recently? In January? $2,700, the max amount, to Kamala Harris in January. December, he's retweeting Bernie Sanders is a danger to the future of the Democratic Party. The next month, $2,700 to Hillary Clinton. Excuse me, Kamala Harris. I say that because basically Kamala Harris is stepping in as Hillary 2.0. All of Hillary Clinton's donors are now Kamala Harris's donors, and most of Kamala Harris's top campaign advisors and staffers worked for Hillary Clinton's campaign. It's just a seamless transition. And I think a lot of the donors are hedging their bets between Biden and Kamala, and ultimately, if Biden were to win the nomination, he would pick Kamala Harris, or before the nomination is up, if Kamala Harris is still far behind, Biden would pick her to try and do, still Biden would be pretending he's middle-class Joe and get a vice presidential running mate in Kamala Harris who fills that identity role and gives him some cover for his awful, awful positions like the crime bill, including being against busing in the 70s and some other racist comments he's made. But you can't make this stuff up. The DNC, with the eyes of the country watching them, both progressives as well as Republicans, frankly, are sitting here pretending to be neutral when your finance chair is a political donor to one of the current candidates, Kamala Harris. When your finance chair is waving about the dangers of Bernie Sanders and high taxes. When your finance chair is a lobbyist from South Florida, where Debbie Wasserman Schultz's influence is thicker than wolves. I don't know if that's a good analogy. I'm so mad, remember to press that like button. Smash that like button. And I'm not just saying this, by the way, because it's totally unfair to Bernie Sanders. It's unfair to people who donate to the DNC, even if they're not Bernie people. It's unfair to people who want actual democracy. So, is the finance chair the same as Tom Perez? Does he have the same power? No. But is the finance chair one of the top 3 or top 2 most influential people at the Democratic National Committee? Yes. Follow the money. It's about the money, Lebowski. I don't want to hear that the DNC is neutral. They just hired basically a political operative, a mega donor, a lobbyist, who's wants Kamala Harris apparently to win, who's been ranting for 3 years now against Bernie Sanders. And you don't think that there might be some backdoor financial things that go on with that finance chair to prop up other candidates? Maybe they won't put it in writing this time and have emails about these money laundering schemes like the Hillary Victory Fund. You remember that from 2016, where Hillary Clinton's campaign was giving money to the state parties, but it ultimately just went back. The money it meant for either the DNC or the state Democratic parties was ultimately laundered back to Hillary Clinton's campaign. So I got to tell you, keeping it real, I think Bernie Sanders supporters from the DNC, and Jeff Weaver, a top senior campaign advisor to Bernie Sanders, was his campaign manager. I think their response is weak sauce. I like all those people. No. The request is not, we want Mr. Chris Corgi to make a statement avowing his neutrality. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is going on national television, expressing her neutrality and vowing to neutrality as that day, probably, they were all in writing email on how they could screw Bernie Sanders and prop up Hillary Clinton. I don't care what they say. No. We don't need a statement from Chris Corgi. We need this man not to become the DNC finance chair. If you want to have a neutral primary, you cannot have leading executives at the Democratic National Committee be proponents of one candidate and clearly, on the record, publicly hostile to another. No. There's a difference between James Zogby, who's a DNC board member, right? He's a DNC member and he's pro-Bernie Sanders, but he's not the chairman. He's not the finance chair. He's a DNC member. Of course, DNC members could have their political preferences, but you can't have the chairman, you can't have the finance chair, the secretary, whoever. People that make the decisions that could affect a primary be political operatives and mega donors to Kamala Harris. He donated $2,700 to Kamala Harris. I have to look more in depth. He might have bundled money for her too. So he might have directly donated and also raised and fundraised a lot of money for Kamala Harris. So I don't know about you, but I think the response for the Sanders campaign shall be, we are adamantly against this person getting approved in August as the DNC finance chair, and we expect and demand that Chairman Perez revoke that nomination. Period. End of story. I understand that they're trying to be diplomatic. I understand that in this piece, Jane Klebb, Jane Klebb, the Nebraska chairwoman, Nebraska's Democratic Party chairwoman, says it's leaps and bounds from where it was in 2015 and 2016, referring to DNC's improved commitment to impartiality. I get it. And maybe they've taken some strides to make it appear that they're neutral. But you can't tell me that having as a top 2 position this guy, who's a lobbyist, by the way, he's not exactly like, the most progressive. Yeah, don't tell me that person is wildly, is neutral, and his animosity and hostility towards Bernie Sanders, his favoritism towards Kamala Harris, and if not Kamala Harris, anyone who's pro-corporate, anyone who's pro-big banks, Anyone who's pro-fossil fuels, anyone that's pro-big pharma, anyone that's pro-big real estate, anyone that's pro-Silicon Valley, and on and on and on, is going to not tilt the scales. What do you think? Tell us in the super chat, and we'll answer you right there in the live chat. So I hope to see Bernie Sanders' campaign not ask for like a comment or a statement from this gentleman vowing his neutrality and clarifying his comments about Bernie Sanders. Talk is cheap. We already know what he thinks. He deleted the tweets. You don't delete tweets if you don't have anything to hide. I guess they still think they could just delete the evidence of their clear bias and their clear lack of neutrality. And once again, just because something appears to be more neutral does not mean it is. I think they're smart enough now that they're not actively putting in writing things that will come to expose that they're organizing in the background to prop up Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Pete Buttigieg or the various other people they've tried to prop up. But that doesn't mean they're not having meetings. That doesn't mean they're not having secret dinners. Remember that New York Times story a few weeks ago with donors and Neera Tanden and Terry McAuliffe, who's a DNC, I believe, superdelegate, and Pete Buttigieg was there, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. All these people were having dinners together in New York and D.C. What were they talking about? Think they were talking about the Game of Thrones finale, which I was disappointed with, by the way. Not going to give any spoilers, but didn't like it. I liked it. I didn't like their choice for a king, but that's a different story. All right, moving on. Before we get to our next topic, a couple public service announcements. This coming Sunday, dun, 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 we are out of live stream jail, or we should be out of live stream jail. Our 90-day live stream ban on YouTube should end this coming weekend. That is what I was told. Never put it past YouTube to not do the right thing, but by the automated system, our 90-day ban should be up this weekend. So Status Coup will be making its triumphant return to Marathon Sundays, Sunday, noon Eastern. Cancel your plans or do your plans, but have Status Coup on in the background. Noon Eastern Sunday, we will have a special guest. I'm not going to say who yet, but you love him, hint, hint. We're going to try to get some other interviews lined up this week that we can air on Sunday. We will be live. I will be talking to you live in the super chat. We're obviously going to be, if you remember, our Sunday marathons were specifically to raise money for Status Coup. So we'll be raising money through our GoFundMe, which right now, our GoFundMe is we're close to $54,000. And we kind of took a pause from promoting GoFundMe because we haven't been able to go live, and we'd rather promote GoFundMe while we're live and could talk to you live. So we haven't been promoting GoFundMe, but it's still there, and we still have our goal to hit 75,000, which would really, really help us get in the field like immediately to cover Bernie Sanders on the campaign trail, Tulsi Gabbard on the campaign trail, get to some of those establishment corporate rallies, and challenge some more pro-establishment corporate voters in the respectful way you know us for, but aggressive way. So definitely be there this Sunday, noon Eastern. Be there or be square. Also, if you don't know, Status Coup now has a merchandise store. Look at that. All you got to do, folks, hit up statuscoup.com right there. Look at that, right at the top. Store, click on store, and it's going to take you to our merchandise store where you can, oh God, I want it all. I just want it all. We have black shirts. We have white shirts. We have phone covers for every different type of phone. iPhone, Samsung. You got iPad covers. You got laptop covers. We have posters, canvas prints, photographic paint, art boards, pillows, floor pillows, coffee mugs, Status Coup clocks, drawstring bag, studio pouch, tote bag, stickers, greeting cards, spiral notebook, hardcover journal. God, Jen, can I have it all? Can I have it all, Jen? This is another important revenue stream for us, so we're trying to, build up our revenue in all sorts of ways. So click on whatever image you want. We have different colors, so you could get a black shirt, a white shirt. I think they have navy and a couple other colors. So if we could grow our revenue, we got membership, which right now we are at. Wait. We're at 409. Count it, 409 Status Coup members. Again, become a Status Coup member. This is how we cover the in-the-field journalism that you want us out there for. This is how we cover the Flints and the next Standing Rock and the economic disaster that is capitalism. We've been on the road many times over the last year on a shoestring budget, and you guys are helping us by your continued monthly subscription as a member to Status Coup. That's statuscoup.com/join. You can become a member for as low as $5 a month. You can become a member as low as $10 a month. You can become a member as low as $20 a month or $179 annually. And we are, just for May, if you become a $5 member, you're going to get one of those Status Coup stickers for free. And if you become a $179 annual member, you're going to get a free coffee mug. And you could put your coffee in there, your tea in there, your whatever you want to put in there, put it in. It's up to you. So become a member, statuscoup.com/join. And if you're on the fence about membership, think of it this way. Is real independent journalism worth the price of the McDonald's Happy Meal menu, if that's your thing? Is real independent journalism worth 1 or 2 lattes a week? Lattes aren't even good for you. This is. We're good. We're better than a Frappuccino. We're better for your cholesterol. We're better for your respiratory system. We're better for your inflammatory system, if that is a thing. We are better for your health. Promise. And to encourage membership, let me play a short little clip from Ty's members video. I'm not going to play the whole thing. If you want to watch more, you can become a member. Here's Ty taking you a little behind the scenes of what he's working on shortening the documentary. And he's tired, folks.
What's going on, everyone? This is Ty. I haven't seen y'all in a minute. I've been working on the documentary. Just trying to get it down to like 130, 135. Right now I got it to about 145, but it's because you can't just cut stuff, you gotta like cut it, make it match, kind of redo the sound like the score, but also like be creative with it. You don't want to just cut it down and look like you kind of just going through it. You want to make it appealing still a narrative. It still has a trajectory to reach. So that's what I've been doing. And the other day I watched it like 3 times. I don't know. I was on some Adderall and I was just up watching it, figuring out what can be added as far as like, it's a 2-hour film. I watched it 3 times. But like, I think some things kind of like I don't know if it's hitting the nail as far as like the difference between sentinel testing and volunteer testing. I don't know if that really hits it enough for people to be like, okay, now when I hear that, I know what that means. Or when I hear that, I know what that means. So, I told Jordan to record that. I don't know if he did or not. I don't think he did. But I'm just record something and lay my voice over it and see if that does it, because I think that it's probably a point that's not really been hit. I mean, it's mentioned a few times, but I don't think it really hits it on the nail where people get, oh, that's what Sentinel is. That's what the volunteer testing is, because knowing the difference between the two is very imperative to the story, because it shows you, because the Sentinel testing is what they used to declare the water fine. So they had sentinel testing, which is the homes that the government chose, right? So the state of Michigan chose a certain amount of homes, and those were called sentinel testing. And then they had the volunteer testing where people could, say, can I have my house tested, and volunteer test. So they get the results from the sentinel testing, which is the state testing, and the results from the volunteer testing. So the sentinel testing is the results that they use to declare the water fine. So the sentinel testing is what like I said, the homes that that the state of Michigan chose, and those are the numbers that they use to declare the water fine. The volunteer testing is just something that like they did so people can see if their water is fine like that, but they didn't use those. And what we saw is with the sentinel testing, the levels were very low. The sentinel testing, the water was, the testing scores were low. Like the lead levels were very, very low in the state run testing, but the volunteer testing, it was high. And so I think if people kind of understand the difference between the two going in, then as it's referenced, that's the. So that kind of needs to be hit on the nail a little bit. And I did some other little changes, some things I was like, okay, make it look better or play better. Like I think when I always forget that lady's name, but what's her name? Let's see. The lady that had the abortion, I mean not abortion, but she like Nakia, like the one time I think I'll show you guys on the so with like here Nakia, you can see it, you should be able to see it. I don't know why it's not playing. Oh, it's because for some reason, I don't know, this thing's been freezing and shutting down. For some reason, you gotta like push solo for us to hear her. See, I don't know what that's about, but anyway, look, you see,
contaminated water.
Her framing is like
my
this.
mailbox, and I received something from the city of Flint stating
And so
that
I was like, you know what, we can do better. And what I did is do it like this. So
many of you have heard my story, but for the ones who haven't, this water crisis
just
has
makes
had
it look a little more
major
appealing.
impact on me and my children. I was pregnant in 2015 with twins, and I lost both of my babies.
It makes it look a little more appealing and things like that, and whatever. It's not just a black screen. It's like you're watching a TV. She's in black and white. Look like an old school TV. Something. And then what else did I change? I'll go to the other one. And also with the right here, when they go right here. Oh. Right here.
All right, let's cue the Michigan tape. If you live in Michigan and your town goes broke, the state of Michigan has the option to come in and take over your town.
So right there, I changed that a little bit as well, just to give it some flair and shit, stuff like that. I'll show y'all what I did. Right here. This is it. Yeah.
Did emergency manager.
3, 2, 1.
All right, let's cue the Michigan tape.
Become a Status Coup member to watch the whole, full video. And let us know in the comments, in the super chat. Do you like these behind the scenes videos? What would you like to see as far as being a member to Status Coup? I do behind the scenes videos. Ty is going to be doing more behind the scenes videos. We're going to try to do more in the field videos just for members when we have the ability to go out in the field. So we don't want, obviously becoming a member, the main reason is to support us financially so we could go cover these critical stories, as well as go cover the Bernie Sanders campaign, Tulsi's campaign, and cover the campaign on the road. Currently, unless I'm missing something, there is no independent media outlet out there covering Bernie rallies, Tulsi's campaign on the road, and those kinds of things. Maybe once in a blue moon, but not as consistently as need be. That's what we're trying to do. So become a member, statuscoup.com/join. Our goal for the end of May is 450. So we got some work to do. We got, what do we got? May 31st is the last day. So we have, we got 11 days. 11 days to get 41 new members. I think we could do it. Join the media revolution. That's statuscoup.com/join. And also, for members, this Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern Time, that's at night, is our monthly Status Coup members call. So if you're a Status Coup member, usually it's for $10 or higher members. We're going to open it up to everybody this Wednesday. That's Wednesday night, 7:30 Eastern. If you're a Status Coup member as well as a Status Coup patron, any amount, you'll be invited. You'll get a little link through Zoom to join our video call with me and Jen. And that call is pretty cash, a lot of TMI. We might have some good news to tell you, hopefully, this coming Wednesday evening. And we answer your questions, comments, concerns, and we are with you, in our members. It's not a live stream, it's a Zoom call, and you see my ugly face, and I see your faces, so it's wonderful. So become a member to join that and to get these bonus videos, and most importantly, to support real independent journalism. We have shown you what we're going to do with those funds. We're out in the field as much as we can and as much as revenue is allowed. So, now that all that's done, and remember, if you haven't smashed the like button, I need you to do so right now. Smash that like button. It's the thumbs up right under this video. So, I wasn't as politically aware in 2002 when all the fear-mongering and all the false media reporting was going on to lead us to Iraq. I'm a lot more politically aware now, and I'm seeing very scary things. Very scary misinformation or half information reports coming out now about Iran and the threat of Iran to our shores here. This is from the Associated Press. Report: Iran quadruples production of enriched uranium. Iran's quadrupled its uranium enrichment production capacity amid tensions with the U.S. over Tehran's atomic program, nuclear officials said Monday, just after President Donald Trump and Iran's foreign minister traded threats and taunts on Twitter. Iranian officials made a point to stress that the uranium would be enriched only to the 3.67% limit set under the 2015 nuclear deal with world powers, making it usable for a power plant but far below what's needed for an atomic weapon. But by increasing production, Iran soon will go beyond the stockpile limitations set by the accord. Tehran has set a July 7th deadline for Europe to come up with new terms for the deal, or it will enrich closer to weapons-grade levels in a Middle East already on edge. The Trump administration has deployed bombers and aircraft carriers to the region over still unspecified threats from Iran. Already this month, officials in the United Arab Emirates allege that 4 oil tankers were damaged in a sabotage attack. Yemeni rebels allied with Iran launched a drone attack on an oil pipeline in Saudi Arabia, and U.S. diplomats relayed a warning that commercial airliners could be misidentified by Iran and attacked, something dismissed by Tehran. Nowhere does the Associated Press say, just read this paragraph. Already this month, officials in the UAE, a tyrannical, greedy, oil-rich country, no different than Saudi Arabia, really, as far as their brutality, alleged that 4 oil tankers were damaged in sabotage attacks. Yemeni rebels allied with Iran launched a drone attack on an oil pipeline in Saudi Arabia, and U.S. diplomats relayed a warning that commercial airliners could be misidentified by Iran and attacked, something dismissed by Tehran. Nowhere does the Associated Press say, no evidence exists for most of this. A rocket landed Sunday near the U.S. Embassy in the green zone of Iraq's capital of Baghdad, days after non-essential U.S. staff were ordered to evacuate from diplomatic posts in the country. No one was reported injured. Iraqi military spokesman Brigadier General Yahya Razul told the Associated Press that the rocket was believed to have been fired from eastern Baghdad, an area home to Iran-backed Shiite militias. Again, believed to have been fired from eastern Baghdad, an area home. So we believe it's coming from eastern Baghdad, an area home to Iran-backed Shiite militias. It's unbelievable. This is literally deja vu. No verification, no proof, propaganda, speculation, lies to inflate the threat of a country that has not threatened us. The Iranian enrichment announcement came after local journalists traveled to Natanz in central Iran, the country's underground enrichment facility. There, an unidentified nuclear scientist gave a statement with a surgical cap and a mask covering most of his face. No one explained his choice of outfit, although Israel is suspected of carrying out a campaign targeting Iranian nuclear scientists. Oh, God. I can't even read any more of this. It's war propaganda. And then you have this idiot, our president, tweeting this yesterday. Hold on. If Iran wants to fight, that will be the official end of Iran. Never threat the United States again. Who's saying Iran wants to fight? This is John Bolton tweeting for him? There's another one today. The fake news put out a typically false statement without acknowledging that the United States was trying to set up negotiations with Iran. This is a false report. Iran will call us if and when they are ready. In the meantime, their economy continues to collapse. Very sad for the Iranian people. Yeah, well, generally, like in Venezuela, when the United States puts illegal, crippling, murderous sanctions on vulnerable countries, yeah, people die and their economy collapses. And then the United States propaganda machine, helped by the corporate media, says, oh, they're collapsing because of decisions made by the government, not because the United States is cutting off their economic apparatus, ability to bank, ability to get foreign money. If this is giving you deja vu, if you remember the Iraq War, this is exactly the propaganda we saw leading up to the Iraq War, minus Bush and Cheney at least weren't tweeting deranged things. They were just doing deranged things in the background, particularly Cheney. And by the way, the corporate media, they don't see their role. Like if you watch CNN covering this stuff, they don't see their role to actually challenge, like, is there evidence that Iran has enriched uranium to that level? Are the Iranian officials, the nuclear science people who said that, could just be bluffing? They could be hyping up their stockpile and their capacity and their ability to spook the U.S. You know, psychological warfare. You ever heard that? Is there any proof that they have expanded their capability, as this report, Reuters, story, Iran quadruples production of enriched uranium, says Iranian nuclear officials. I have no idea who's verifying this. I don't know if they have inspectors there. You want to say, Jordan, you're too cynical. Take them at their word. Yeah, let's take the CIA at their word that, Kennedy was killed by... Why is his name escaping me? Who killed Kennedy? What? Who's the guy? I'm having, as Mike Gravel would say, I'm having a senior moment. Kennedy was killed. Jack Ruby killed. I know. I'm going to feel so stupid. Who killed Kennedy? JFK. Oh, Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah, let's just take their word for it. Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone gunman. Let's take their word for it that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, and a mushroom cloud will devastate all of us. Let's just take their word for it. Let's take their word for it that U.S. drones under President Obama, civilian casualties are very minor. Let's take their word for it that, Saudi Arabia, they're doing what they have to do in Yemen. And, that's a local issue. Let's take their word for it that the NSA, how dare you suggest we are spying or surveilling on Americans? We have never done that. John Brennan. James Clapper tells Congress. Let's just take their word for it. Let's take Iran officials' word that they're not, that they've quadrupled uranium with no verification from the American press or even the American government. Let's take the American government's word that commercial airliners could be misidentified by Iran and attacked. This is literally, all of this is wet dreams coming out of John Bolton. Excuse me for the grossness of that statement. It's just delusions out of John Bolton's warmongering mind and body into American press stories. And it is dangerous because, as I've said in previous videos, if you think for 1 second that if Trump feels vulnerable that he is going to lose re-election, if Trump feels vulnerable and he feels like he's up against a tougher candidate this time around than Hillary Clinton, you don't think the current president, the kind of man this person is, would launch a missile at Iran? You don't think this man would send troops into Iran to spook the hell out of the country? I'm a wartime president now, to rally the base, to rally those patriots who say we have to stick with the president. Those patriots meaning Boeing, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, the big banks that benefit from war, fossil fuel companies that benefit from war. And, you could say, whatever, Trump tweets stupidity all the time. Remember Rocket Man? He tweeted that with Kim Jong-un. Right. But we're now at the, what are we, a year and a half away from the general election? Trump will be able to see who will potentially be the nominee in about a year. So I would not put it past this person. And this person has the same lunatics that George W. Bush had around him. John Bolton is there. Mike Pompeo wasn't with Bush, but he comes from that school of thought. This new defense secretary seems to be a warmonger too. And Donald Trump does not care about American soldiers. He don't care about American veterans either. Donald Trump cares about getting reelected and keeping the greatest reality show in American history going, because he's all in it for the ratings. And I got news for you folks. I don't really trust the Democratic Party to stand up against this shit. Demonetized again. Oh, I was almost done with the not live stream and I demonetized myself. Fuck. Ugh. I mean, I don't really hear the Democratic Party screaming from the rooftops, where is the evidence? I hear some, not all. Where's the Democratic Party asking, where's the evidence that Iran violated the Iran nuclear deal? Where's the evidence? Where's the media asking if Iran violated the nuclear deal? We know that the corporate media, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, the New York Times, Washington Post, war is a racket. They profit from escalating military tensions. They profit from escalating scare of a foreign power, escalating threats from a foreign power. This is how the media makes those Benjamins. As Brian Williams said on NBC, I am guided by the beauty of our weapons. Well, I am guided, and Status Quo is guided, by exposing the fuckery and corruption of these corrupt oligarchs. Because the military, corporate, media, industrial complex, yes, I said it, don't steal it. The military, industrial, media, military, industrial, corporate, media, industrial complex, they are kicking into high gear. And this Iran buildup and the scare over this should scare the living hell out of all of you. Reminder before I go, we now have merchandise. Go to statusquo.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to statusquo.com. At the top, you will see our store where you can get everything from a sticker to a clock. We got it all. Click on store and then check out our merchandise. It's the new revenue stream for us. And by the way, when you get our stuff, shirts, pillows, whatever, if you feel comfortable, email us, info@statusquo.com. That's info@statusquo.com. Email us a picture of you rocking our shirts or the clocks or whatever. We want to see our Status Quo ambassadors, our Coup Day cavalry, rocking our gear. And thank you. In addition to becoming members to Status Quo, that's statusquo.com/join. We would like to get this meter up to 450 by the end of this month, which gives us 11 days. Become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. And one final reminder, we are out of jail this coming Sunday. We will be live again. It's a miracle that we have still grown over these last 90 days while not being able to go live. So thank you for all of you who have been sticking with us. And if you have not yet done it, we're trying to grow. Go follow Status Quo on Twitter @StatusQuo. So I have 87,000 something followers on Twitter. All of you, go follow Status Quo as well. That's a new way for us to grow and reach new audiences. So it's @StatusQuo on Twitter. Go follow. Thank you for watching. We will see you same time tomorrow. Peace out.